Hello and welcome to the first edition of Moxi Moments with me, Todd Steinberg, your Master Teacher Training Specialist. What we're going to be doing in this series is taking a look at MoxiWorks, the system, in small, manageable bits. And in the first of these series, what we're going to cover is kind of the why behind relationship marketing in MoxiWorks. Why did we build this thing in the first place? 2, how to import a contact database into Exchange. It's very important because your contact database fuels this system. So you need to get it into the Exchange account. And why? Because there's a special relationship that happens between MoxiWorks and your Windermere Exchange email account. So we're going to kind of talk about that as well. But first, let's talk about how do you, as an agent, find business? Well, we find it 3 different ways. And the number 1 is that existing sphere, the relationships you have, the people that you know, and managing those relationships and staying in flow with them. 2, prospecting. Oh yeah, the fun times of picking up that phone and cold calling FSBO lists or maybe other lists that you're provided. And then 3, responding to inbound leads from relationships that you may have or an account that you have with Zillow or Trulia or things like that. So it's basically cold calling off of those lists that are coming in. And what we found here at Windermere is that we want to focus our energies on that existing sphere because you have a higher close rate with those relationships that you have. All the work you're doing on prospecting is only going to a 1% close rate. Not fun. So let's focus our energy on that existing sphere, and that's why MoxiWorks was developed. It was developed around the ninja philosophy of working the relationships that you have to stay in flow. So you're creating this automated, personalized business plan with MoxiWorks to stay in flow with your database from that first point of contact all the way through the real estate sales flow process. Provides you an automated monthly touch point. We need to stay on top of those relationships, and so MoxiWorks has a couple of them now of automated touch points that you can send out to your database. It tracks your progress. You set a financial goal for the year in gross commission income, and MoxiWorks helps track that progress in achieving that goal, and it keeps your activity organized. You want to be sure that you have one spot to organize everything that you need to do with your database. And then it's integrated with the Exchange because that's how it uses all of these different systems in order to stay on top of your database. It needs that Exchange account to kind of control everything. Now, how do you get your database into the system? Well, you got to export it. You got to get it out of wherever it exists now. Gmail, Buffini Referral Maker, Top Producer. All of these systems have tools to export the contact database out. You need to export it into what's known as a CSV file, an Excel spreadsheet basically. But it's got to be Outlook friendly. It needs to be formatted properly to load into your Exchange account so that everything matches. And so you need to get a hold of tech support. They can help you out. Heck, you probably have somebody in your office, staff person, who knows how to do this or could help you out. So check with your office manager. They probably can get you directed to the right people to help you out in getting those contacts exported and put into the proper format, because then it's really simple. You just go to your email account, and then when you log into your email, upper left hand corner there's a little settings option. You choose people, and then from there choose the settings wheel in the upper right hand corner and select options. From options you then choose import contacts on the left hand side, browse and find that contact file that you saved to your computer somewhere, and then import it into your Exchange email account. And what happens is as soon as those contacts are loaded into the Exchange, they will show up in MoxiWorks. MoxiWorks is just a way to view the database and edit the database and control the database from Exchange. Okay, it's just a different way of viewing it. Now, that relationship is really important to know because you cannot delete a contact from Moxi. You can just manage them, and we'll talk about the different ways of doing that later on. So if you need to clean up your database, you need to delete and clean it up here in your Exchange email account. Okay? Very important. But why are we using this Exchange account? Because it's cloud-based. It goes wherever you go on any device that you have. But you have to make sure that that Windermere Exchange account is set up on those devices. And it's also important to be sure that that account is set as the default account for at least contacts and calendars, so that anytime you add a new person onto your phone into your contacts, it will show up in Exchange and therefore will show up in MoxiWorks. So really important that you do that. Now, that's the first of kind of understanding the why and the how in the initial setup on the Exchange side for MoxiWorks. And we'll talk about the rest later on. But I just have to remind you of this. When it comes to learning new technology, and I say this every time I have a class, remember this one thing. Just have fun and play. Relax. You're not going to break anything. Get in there, play around with it, and understand it. Thank you very much, and I hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you real soon in the next edition of Moxi Moments.